Welcome to Voyage. We set sail again, seeking vindication, validation, and Vikings victory. I'm your host, Cam Erickson, and I'm joined by my two shipmates, John Dittman and Ryan Kane. How we doing today, boys?
Cheers, fellas. Cheers.
We got some peppers to eat.
Cheers.
Got some serranos.
Cheers. Kenny, you gonna do a cheers,
Cheers.
dude? I mean, yeah, cheers, fellas.
We're excited for chapter 3 of this journey here. And before we get started, we've got a serrano pepper to eat. Our director of content, Contrarian Kane, lost his spicy serrano spread of the week. Trey Meister, a loyal follower of ours, called him out on Twitter because Kane's spread of the week was the Bears +10 at Lambeau, and they failed to cover. Therefore, Kane, at the front end of this episode, will be eating a full serrano pepper straight from his garden and battling through whatever heat that may come from that throughout the rest of the show. So, Kane, how are we feeling about that?
Not excited. As I mentioned on Twitter, tomorrow's a travel day. So we're gonna be on a plane.
Wait, tomorrow is or Friday?
Friday.
I thought you
Friday.
said okay.
Friday. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
so then you got time to digest, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, you think about the rule of digestion. It's about 36 hours to pass through you. So we'll see. I'm not feeling great.
Not feeling how your digestion.
How hot is this pepper? How hot is it?
I mean, there have been times where like then it's burning your mouth out. But this week I had one and it was a dud. This one, it's straight out of the garden. Just rinse it off, and we're gonna go for it whenever you guys are ready.
I mean, this is terrible radio, but for the listeners out there, he's already sweating.
I'm gonna try and do some ASMR. I'll put the.
He's really crunching into it. I mean,
he went. That was a full. Oh my god! Look,
he ate the whole thing. He bit it off to the nub on one bite. All right. Well, while he's doing that and letting that sink, John, you got pretty roughed up this weekend, and I think you wanted to say something about that. You had I'll let you go ahead and describe to the people what happened.
I had the worst NFL week of my entire life. I lost my max bet and every bet I made, I lost especially my max bet, the Ravens, which was an absolute blunder. I lost in all 3 fantasy leagues, and the Vikings got their ass kicked. It was brutal. I'm gambling wise, I'm on the yellow light right now. 1 pick Saturday, 1 pick Sundays. I do have
proceed with caution.
Correct. I do have, however, some beef with our host.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have some beef with you, sir, in terms of just straight vibes. I post the pick in our retail gamblers chat. Erickson says, now. Oh, Kane just left.
Kane got up out of his seat and had to scurry away to get
his show, I guess.
Go ahead.
Yeah, his show. No, you said I posted my pick, and then you said now I'm taking the Dolphins.
All right.
And then I'm not done. And then, yeah, you'll have time to explain. And then after it, just the biggest heartbreak of my life, the worst loss of my career, you started off a text and you said, I'm not championing my win, but this is how the NFL goes, brother. That's what you say to me.
Dude, okay, all right. I think you're overblowing my text response there. First, let me start off by my reasoning behind the pick, okay? I understand that it was directly after you said that you were taking the Ravens that I was like, okay, fine, I'm taking the Dolphins. And by no means was I taking the Dolphins simply to fade you. I've been having success in the NFL this year by looking at late line movement. All right. Even the slightest. So I see that money comes in late on the Dolphins. I like that. That means sharps are picking it and plucking the line at whatever they can. And I'm going to jump in on that. Okay. So that swayed my pick. And I was just simply trying to caution you that maybe you shouldn't max the Ravens. Now,
Right.
was I at all confident in my pick at any point throughout that entire game? Absolutely not. I thought
You
I was
couldn't have been.
definitely a loser. Now, so I do understand why you think that I directly faded you, but that's not the case. Now, as far as the text message, I was simply saying that exactly what I just described. I was not championing my pick because I got bailed that somehow the Dolphins came back and won that effort after being down 21 in the fourth quarter. So I got pretty much bailed. That's what I was trying to say. And I was just saying that, that's how the league goes, brother. So it's
Of course.
tough, but it's one that we have to swallow and move forward from. And now you've got the yellow light for the time being, but I know you're going to bounce back.
Yeah, and again, I have the yellow light now, and it's just not good. I'm just saying the vibes to start that game off was, that's a tough one.
I hear you. But
one.
you were also parading your win on Twitter.
No,
via
that's another
photos
thing. I was
and
live. I was
gifs.
live tweeting the game. I live tweeted even when they were losing. I didn't stop. And then you sent in the retail gamblers, and then you sent the crickets. Are you serious? Oh man.
I
And
wanted
then
to
you
say
said I'm not
I wanted to say
championing my pick after you say crickets.
Oh, dude. Okay, all right. I get
So-
it. No, it was.
If I didn't have the yellow light, Erickson.
Look, here's the deal. Maybe I was championing my pick a little bit. Maybe I was peacocking my pick a little bit, but the deal is, this league will humble you. This league will humble you. So I'm prepared for my next ass whooping. And just like the Vikings, man, I'm gonna get humbled at some point. So Kane, how you doing over there?
Yeah, buddy, how you doing?
I might yarf
And you just look like you threw up in your mouth.
a little bit. Well, it's pretty. It's a hot one.
It didn't
It's
seem
a hot
that
one.
bad, dude. You're not even like.
I mean, my nose is running. My eyes are a little watery. I can't feel my tongue. There's some stuff stuck in my teeth. It's not a good. There's seeds. That's the thing that kills you. It's not the actual pepper. That wasn't de-seeded. That was straight out the vine.
You garden, Kane? You're a
Yeah,
gardener?
welcome to
what do they call that? A green
Green Thumb.
Green
thumb.
thumb.
Yeah, you have a green thumb since when? Never would have guessed.
Moving up to Wisco changed me a little bit. Sorry.
He's not doing great right now.
No. This is great podcasting, by the way. But, moved up here. Don't have much else to do. You might as well have your own fresh tomatoes, some basil, some serranos, some jalapenos.
All right, yeah, that's great. Let's move on.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I don't think that's what Wisconsin's known for, really. So
I don't even know why I asked.
I'm not
Go
a real
ahead,
one, though.
Erickson. Go ahead.
all right. Well, yeah, Kane. If you're gonna be hacking up along, let's go on mute, huh? What do you say?
No, we're good now. We're solid.
All right, Johnny, let's dive into the Vikings, the week that was the unfortunate trouncing that the Vikings took week 1 at Lincoln Financial Field, or week 2, excuse me, at Lincoln Financial Field.
It was an extremely hard game to watch. I really just have a couple things before I throw it over to you. Total yards in the game. The Vikings had 264. The Eagles had 486 yards.
That's nuts.
Time of possession. Vikings, 23 minutes and 46 seconds to the Eagles, 36 minutes, 14 seconds. I have two more. Kirk Cousins was the leading rusher.
Yeah, that's brutal.
That's tough. You're not going to win many ball games doing that. And throughout the game, there was no adjustments made. None. Not at halftime, nothing. Not when they're marching up and down the field on us, pitch and catch, nothing. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Let's throw it over to you, Erickson.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, I think you laid it out all there pretty well. well, right? It's unfortunate that the ball game goes. You know, you start off the first half. I believe they only had like 21 plays on offense in the first half, right? So you don't possess the ball. You keep your defense out there too long. You get beat over the top on the Quez Watkins play. You know, Jalen Hurts basically gets whatever he wants. I think he started the game 10 for 10, or it might have even been higher than that. I know for sure he started 10 for 10. And then he's just, you know, kind of running around doing whatever he wants. We didn't stop the run. Yeah, you know, but you go into halftime. What was the score at halftime? We're down by, oh, sorry, they didn't score in the second half. So it was 24-7 at half, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
But regardless, I mean, still the game's not completely out of hand. But in the first half, you pissed away, for lack of a better term, you pissed away some opportunities even in the first half. And it's just like, so my question for you though is, some people were making a big deal out of, you know, you win the coin toss. You want to go out and be the aggressor and take the ball and try to march down the field and score, or are you fine with the, you know, the whole hold it for the second half, try to get 2 straight possessions strategy?
Well, I mean, my take on that is it's when you get the choice, in my opinion, it's hard to pass up the ultimate swing and opportunity in the game, and that's to score before half and get the ball. It's a huge momentum shift. It's kind of like a double play in baseball in a way, except you get to choose that. So that's my take on that.
So you don't really care then. So you think that
No, I care. I would if I had the choice, I would always take the ball in the second half.
Yeah. Okay. So then what we did is fine, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a little bit overblown, but I would say that when you're playing a good ball club, or depending on who you play, maybe you change it up week to week. I don't know. But sometimes it feels good to march down and get 7 right away and just be like, hey, we're here, brother. We're not afraid. We're the better offense. We're the better team in this ball game. And we come out and score 7. But would we have even been able to do that when we open up the ball game with the kick? I don't know. And, but you know, these guys always talk about, O'Connell always talks about, don't look ahead too much. It seems like you're looking ahead a little bit by trying to get the ball in the second half. Like I think in this situation, obviously the first half crushed us because we were down 24-7, and it just felt like a lifeless half for us. Right. But then we get the ball in the second half. We marched right down the field, and then that was the Irv Smith drop. Right. So, yeah. I mean, or no, sorry, that was the interception in the end zone too.
Oh yeah, Jefferson didn't. Yeah,
Jefferson didn't cross the face. Yeah.
Yep.
So, you know, it's just that part I think maybe is overblown, but I think maybe it's something to think about. Like, if you, depending on who you're playing and what the matchup is or what you're trying to do, like, you know, is that second half really going to matter? Like, if the Eagles get out and start dominating, but I mean, you have to trust your defense too to come out and get a stop. But I feel like since we got the second possession and we went down 7-0, we kind of abandoned our script a little bit, started out of the shotgun because we felt like we needed to, weren't able to establish the run at all. As you alluded to, Kirk was our leading rusher. I think Dalvin Cook had like 17 yards rushing,
6
right? So
carries.
so we were never able to establish the run at all. And then when it got to a point late in the second half, we had to go 5 wide because we had no choice other than to try to get back in the ball game. And the Eagles were just able to pin their ears back, and we had no answer for their rush.
And it seemed like week 1 it looked like it looked like a different offense. It looked like it was not Clint Kubiak calling plays out there. It looked better. Week 1 it did. And we just looked so vanilla on offense. It was just terrible. I mean, that's how I would describe it, is we looked extremely vanilla.
Yeah, but I'd say we looked vanilla on defense too. I mean,
oh, dude, we
didn't change up our coverages at all. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not just listening. Like, Troy Aikman literally hit it on the head. Like, they sat in that base coverage all game long, and just got picked apart. 486 yards and just no adjustments. And like I said on Twitter, you know, we're entering a phase here where Mike Zimmer besides his last year, you know he's trying to dial something up, make something happen, get to the quarterback, something, right? Cause a turnover. If this is how our defense is going to be, man, it's going to be a big change for Vikings fans, and we got to buckle up for that.
Yeah, you have to hope that this is going to spark something and spark an opportunity to make some adjustments on defense and learn when to come with some pressures, some different packages. But let's talk about what you were talking to me about a little bit before we started recording the show. You brought up a good point in that, hey, maybe once this game was out of hand a little bit, or not even necessarily out of hand, but like, tough uphill battle. Like maybe we just decided we're not going to really show the Eagles too much here in this spot.
I'm not going to come out there and say that's what happened, but the thought did cross my mind. It certainly looked like it. I mean, it looked like it almost felt like, to me, we'll see. Ed Donatel is saying, we'll see these guys later down the road. We're just not going to show them anything right now. We're going to learn about their offense and see what they're capable of.
Yeah.
And
that
look,
would be a little
ahead to the Lions. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I
Just a
mean,
thought.
it's very possible and very plausible. It would disappoint me just a little bit because I think you kind of need to show some fight and some will in that ball game against the Eagles, even late, because we still had a chance. Like the defense held them to no points in the second half somehow. I don't really know how, but we didn't allow any points in the second half. There were some bright spots. There was a blocked field goal, there was an interception, there was some 3-and-outs that we forced, but yeah, I think for the most part, it's disappointing how the defense played. But if we didn't show them anything and that was like our play, then I don't really like that, because I think we needed to show some fight and show some grit against a good NSC team on the road. And when we still had a chance to win the ball game. But I think when you look at it and if you want to pinpoint the loss on something, it's you can't really, but the offense didn't do their part either, because even though they got the ball back from the defense multiple times, we turned the ball over 3 times in the red zone. I think one time we were at the 27, but basically 3 times in the red area. And you're not going to win many ball games turning it over like that. I mean, you're just not. So the offense looked off.
It seemed like throughout the game, and I mean, Kirk Cousins played fucking bad. There's no going around that. I still believe in Kirk. It just seemed like our offense, we just force it to Justin Jefferson. Like when we get backed in a corner a little bit, like when in doubt, let's just throw it over to him. And it seemed like they were playing the safety over the top of Adam Thielen and on that side, and left Justin Jefferson on Darius Slay. And we went after it, but Darius Slay outplayed Justin Jefferson. Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. We gotta be able to distribute the ball a little bit better to multiple guys. Adam Thielen not really getting involved at all until late was odd. Osborne not really making a difference until late was odd. Forcing the ball to Irv Smith over the middle when he's draped by a linebacker was odd. Irv Smith not making the play when we needed him to was odd. Dalvin Cook not being able to catch out much out of the backfield or not getting anything going in the run game. It was just all bad. Like everybody seemed off. Kirk definitely was terrible. I'm not going to sit here and be a Kirk apologist by any means, because he looked like shit. And, he forced too many throws. He got scatterbrained by some of the pressures that they brought. He got scatterbrained by some of the coverages that they threw at him, and he forced balls in areas he shouldn't have. But he also made a few good throws, and it's going to happen. You're going to have bad games in this league. That's a good Eagles club over there. That's a good secondary. I don't know. It's just, you kind of got to flush it and move on and say, it is what it is. I don't really have much else to say. We got our ass flattened, but I think by a pretty good Eagles club. And at the end of the year, a road loss at Philly in primetime is not going to look as bad. Like, it's not going to look that bad.
And to conclude our Vikings segment here, it seemed like nothing came easy. And I think when you see that as a fan and as a viewer, when nothing comes easy, This is the NFL. This is supposed to be premier coaching, preparation, all this shit. It should come fucking easy, and nothing did. Nothing came easy. It seemed like even late when we were throwing it to Adam Thielen, Kirk's just threading needles, passes that Justin Fields would never make. And it's just I don't know. It was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah. I think that you touched on something there. It looked unprepared.
Yep.
That's what's most concerning, honestly. Yep. Like, it looked completely unprepared from the get-go. Like, and the Eagles like out coached us, outplayed us, out schemed us, all the above, all three phases. Just kind of had our number. Like, they just knew what was going on, and we didn't. We were unprepared. We looked woefully unprepared, and that's what's disappointing. And that's what's something though that, hey, it's week 2, things happen. It reminded me of that Colts game week 2 in 2020, like just completely lost offensively. Other offense just kind of has their way with us, and we look like shit. Kirk looks like shit, and but these things happen. Like you said last week, dude, it's a week to week league, so
now moving
can't look into it too much.
Moving forward, these Lions are not your old man's Lions. This is a Detroit team that, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little scared of these guys. They're a good club. They got good players on both sides of the ball. However, it's a home game. We are going to destroy the Lions. I think it's going to be a huge bounce back spot for our entire team. Kirk Cousins throws for over 350 yards.
Kirk Cousins at noon at home. He's like turns it on to a different level, but I saw some tweets about that. They're funny, but yeah, I mean, they're not your father's Lions. This is a good Lions club. They're a well-coached Lions club. And the offense, I mean, their offense looks like it's clicking on every level. This team almost beat those same Eagles we just played. You know what I mean? And they hung up 30 on them, pretty easily.
And if we play that same defense, sitting in base coverage all game long, expect Amon-Ra St. Brown to have 15 catches and to absolutely dissect our secondary.
Yeah, he will feast. He will feast if we don't do something to stop him. And Jared Goff, as we were talking about earlier, he's a competent quarterback. I mean, he can get it done. He can pick you apart. If you give him space to throw the football, he's going to throw the football where he needs it to be thrown.
Right.
And like you said, their defense is pretty solid too, but their offense actually is like pretty scary. DeAndre Swift is a good player. They do a good job of distributing it to their guys. Hawkinson's a good tight end. They got a decent line. And they've put up over 30 points in both their ball games. They've got over 70 points scored on the season. So they're no slouch. They come into US Bank as a competitive foe. We're both 1-1. It's an NFC North divisional matchup. We kind of need this game to get back on track and to, assert ourselves at the top of this division. Yeah, we got to assert ourselves at the top of this division. So I do like the way we match up though in certain areas. If our offensive line can hold up against Aiden Hutchinson and some of those guys, which I don't think the Lions have too much depth across their front seven. I think we can beat them over the top a bit. I think we could run the ball on them too, but like we need to assert ourselves on offense much better than we did against the Eagles. And it's going to start with play calling and like figuring out how to put us in the right position.
I'm confident going against Aiden Hutchinson. I think that our line.
Me too. Yeah.
Besides when they blitzed at the end against Philadelphia, Ezra Cleveland and Christian Darrisaw, I think, are going to hold up really well. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a brawl. I really do think.
Yeah. Yeah. Darrisaw and Cleveland, I saw some all 22 tape from Philadelphia. They actually looked really good. Like, did you see that one play where Darrisaw blocked his guy and then went over to the left side and just absolutely blasted? Yeah. I think it was Fletcher Cox, was it? And so
it was Brandon Graham. I think it was actually Ezra Cleveland.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sorry. Ezra Cleveland was
Yeah.
the guy who shifted over to the left and helped out Darisaw,
He-
blasted his guy.
He touched
Decleated.
him. He touched right.
Yep.
And Darisaw was holding his ground against Brandon Graham, and he turns his head and just flattens Brandon Graham. It was good. I mean, it's good to see. It's fine. Our special teams
so
looked
I
good
think,
too. It was all right.
But I think that's one of the things that goes unnoticed from a game like that is like our offense didn't establish anything, but like actually our offensive line played pretty well. And if we could do the same thing against the Lions, we gave Kirk some opportunity against Philadelphia to make some throws, and he just really couldn't find windows. I don't know if it was their secondary play, their coverage scheme, or what.
Our play calling, I think, is huge.
Yeah, play calling. It's all of the above, kind of, right? So,
Kirk is a guy where you need to call plays for him that are just layups, and he will make the throw, but they have to be layups. If he's got to all game long make plays, it's going to be tough. He's not going to do well. I mean, I think everybody knows that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if our offensive line can hold up against the Lions pass rush like they did, I think we'll give ourselves kind of beat their secondary and put up some points. But I'd also like to see us establish the run. I mean, I think it's key. And I want to see Irv Smith get rid of his whatever the hell he's got going on. I mean, I think it's
the eye black.
Man.
I mean,
you got to be ready to go. I don't care about the.
He puts eye black all over his face. Why does he do that?
There's so many guys that do that now, dude. It's just like.
I mean, like the Claypool thing where he comes across his eye, like it's kind of tight, like if that's your look, but like just to completely put eye black all over your face, like I don't know.
The other one that was interesting to me was the AJ Brown and the Devontae Smith dark visor look. I mean, don't get me wrong, they looked sick, but dude, it's a night game. Like, we get it, dude. You're trying to be sick.
I fucking hate the Eagles, man.
I really don't like the Eagles either, and I hope we see him again.
Yep.
All right, so give me your what was your prediction for the Lions game? What's his final score?
30-13 purple.
So you think we come back in a big way, big bounce back spot. Offense looks good. Defense holds them to basically nothing. All right.
I think we get after Goff. Yep.
Yeah, I think we get after Goff too. And I think if we're able to stop the run and stop some of their perimeter offense and things and change up our back end a little bit, you got to throw something different because Goff Goff has always struggled with like some different looks, and Zimmer always had success against Goff, just like throwing some different pressures at him.
Get him
things
off
like
platform.
That.
So, you like that one?
What is the common man bit? You got to make sure Goff is off. Stop. He said, "Stop Gurley early and make Goff off." Obviously,
I might have to
make Swift miss, and make Goff off. I'm
gonna have to hit up his tailgate.
Yeah, if Common Man's having a tailgate, you might want to attend. I think his kids are coming too.
Good shit.
But okay, I got Vikings by a final score of 31-20. 31-20.
The over just goes under.
Just goes under, yeah. I like the divisional opponent under. I really do. I think that has been hitting at a high clip, not only this year, but like a lot of recent years.
I don't hate that.
But yeah,
I mean, if 24-17.
I don't remember anybody asking you.
So Kane, you got the Vikes winning?
Yeah, I do. I don't. I mean, I guess that's covering. Isn't the line 6.5?
Yes.
7.
6.5.
I think it could be closer than that. The Vikes are going to win, especially at the bank. But as I think you said in previous weeks, Johnny, Detroit's really frisky. Like St. Brown, not anything to scoff at. DeAndre Swift looking rejuvenated. Jared Goff coming back to life. Defense isn't bad out there either.
I mean, I still think it's the Vikings. The Vikings are the best team of the division, and then I honestly think it goes Lions, Packers, and no offense, Kane, but then the Chicago Bears.
Too early to tell.
Hey, now also for for Vikings bettors this week, I would suggest waiting until 30 minutes before kickoff, because I think the public is going to be on the Lions. Hard Knocks, they've been playing good. We saw Kirk Cousins in prime time. Nobody likes Kirk Cousins. So if you're going to bet Vikings, wait until just before kickoff.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think heavy money is already starting to come in out of Detroit. That line's going to trickle down throughout the week, and then probably you'll get your best value right before kickoff. I probably am not even going to touch it, honestly. I just think I don't like those numbers. I don't like the number at 6.5. If it drops below 3, I'll consider it, but I doubt it drops that far. I mean, I think the Vikings cover the spread, but it's just like, for me as a wagering opportunity, I don't see the opportunity there for that one. Johnny, before we move off the Vikings here, though, we had a listener send us a message. He had a question on the Vikings, and I want to address that.
So let me pull. Up. Yeah, I'm going to pull it up right now. Jordan D. Crook.
Shout out to D. Crook. Thank you for being a loyal listener. We're struggling with fan engagement right now, so every shout out, every question, everything we can get helps. Everybody reach out to us. D. Crook, thanks, man.
I've been seeing Tyler Jonesy Bisher in the comments. I would have liked to see him in the DMs, but we always have next week. All right, Here we go with the first question. Here we go. I need your guys' thoughts on the Vikings first rounder, Lewis Seen. He played more special team snaps than defensive and has played less defensive snaps than third string safety Josh Metellus. Think the injury is still playing a factor, or is he not the guy people thought he was? Do you want to go first on that, Erickson? Great question, by the way. Great question.
It's a great question. It's well thought out. But I'll just address it right away. The answer is no. It's way too early to say that he's not the guy that we thought he was. It's way too early. I think kind of all the above that was mentioned is partially reasons why he's not seen the field as much. I don't think he had a very good camp. I think Lewis Seen is going to have to adapt to the NFL a little bit, in the sense of he's going to have to figure out how to play the position instead of coming straight downhill and trying to light guys up and make plays in the backfield and stop the run. Like, he's got to kind of be able to do it all in this league. And at this point in his career, Cam Bynum, although he looked bad on Monday, is still the better safety at this time. The injury probably played a bit of a factor too, just because he wasn't able to get those reps and be prepared to maybe, see the field in certain packages in week 1 or something. But I'm not concerned at all that he didn't see snaps in week 2. It's probably a little bit of injury. It's a little bit of just not ready. I will start to be concerned, though, if later in the year we're still asking these questions, because you spent a first-round pick on the guy. You expected him to be a supreme athlete and make this transition relatively easily. So he's got to show me some things. If he's not able to cover guys and be a good, nickel, or just help out in coverage in some way, shape, or form, and you can only put him in there in certain packages to blitz or stop the run or something, I will be a little bit concerned. But at this point, no. I just think he's not quite there yet, and that's fine.
My answer would also be no. I think you're trusting. I think what your take there was a little bit trusting the coaching staff in terms of he's not good enough. I think maybe I'm not quite certain about his camp. I'm not going to sit out here and act like I know that if he had a good fucking camp or not. But what I do know is that man is going to be a menace in the NFL. I'm very optimistic on Lewis Seen. I think he's still hurt. Cam Bynum, good player, gritty player, plays hard. He's not the guy. Lewis Seen is a better player, and we might see more Lewis Seen this week. I don't know when the timetable is, but the man is going to be a menace. He is going to be a menace.
I would have liked to have seen his speed, though, impact the game on special teams a little bit more. I don't even remember the special team snaps that he played. Did he even get a tackle?
He was on punt. Our special teams played good. It's hard. It's one game. It's his first NFL football game in Philadelphia.
I'm just saying, it's the old Mike Zimmer adage, hey, you got to help out the team any way you can, and special teams is a way to kind of cut your teeth. I kind of like it.
No, I mean, that's true. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. He didn't make any special teams plays.
I'm just saying, like, Lewis Seen, you gotta make the plays when you get your opportunities, regardless if that's on special teams or where they plug you in. But he'll get his opportunities. I'm not too worried about it. He's a great athlete, and I think he's going to help this ball club. I mean, going forward. So I'm not too concerned.
I will be purchasing a Lewis Seen jersey, number 6.
Manchester.
Fine.
He's already said that he will, so
I've been saying it.
Just following up.
So how'd that Serrano pepper tree you, Kane?
Yeah, it didn't seem that bad, Kane. What the fuck?
No, it's in my chest right now. I'm facing some congestion. I've got a headache. I'm kind of seeing some stars. It's not great. It's kind of passed through the mouth because I've gone through 3 bottles of water and 2 Miller Lights. It's still not great. Not something.
So sounds to me like excuse me. Sounds to me like you're not going to be able to finish the show. You've got no grit. You've got no intestinal fortitude.
0.
Scoop him up and get him out of here.
Fucking chalk it up as an L.
Got the gumption. And John, I looked up the definition. Gumption is basically grit. So it was used in the right context last week.
Good. I just wanted to make
like
sure, it was it's our podcast, and you come on here with gumption. I didn't want it to be the wrong. And then, the very few viewers we have are like, that's not even the right word. It would have been a bad look. But I'm glad that you did your homework, and that's good. Good job, Ken.
Well, hey, man, not a walking
you're like the guy.
here.
No, but I want to address your symptoms that you're dealing with right now. You're like the guy that goes into work for like 3 hours and then starts bitching about his headache, and he's like, I think I should just go home.
Yeah, right.
So you need to use some Voyage sick leave, dude. We employee benefits are great here at Voyage, so you can take the rest of the show off.
We're an employee first company.
No, I'm trying to roll that over into next year. I'm banking everything.
Well, maybe when we start making some money, then you'll actually get some time off. But for now,
hey, do you want to know a funny bit about me and Erickson went to the Packer game. We were at Matt Kittle. Shout out Matt Kittleson if he listens. We were at
he doesn't.
Connor Schultz.
We told him to listen.
Yeah, we told him to listen. He said he was in, but I don't know. Anyways, and we were walking around telling people about our podcast, and Erickson looks at me and he goes, maybe one day we can walk around and we don't have to tell people we have a podcast.
Maybe one day, brother.
Yeah,
maybe one day.
All I'm saying is we should invest in a sponsored ad by Burrito Mac on TikTok. I believe he has a couple 100,000 followers.
He does. You're right. Yeah.
Could be a plug.
We could have Burrito Mac possibly as a guest.
I think you could buy him a Chipotle or two. Maybe slide him a Chipotle gift card.
Should we send him?
Tell him to give us a shout out.
Should we send him a gift?
A care package?
Yeah.
Send him one of the stickers, Cam. One of the burger stickers will be good to go.
Hey, look, I'm not going to be picky about anybody who's coming to be a guest on this show right now. We need all the traction we can get. We need word of mouth. We need all the likes and retweets. We get like 2 and it's like us. So
yeah.
Hey,
we're an open.
Here's our thought process on that. For all you out there who are clowning us and calling us fucking losers for this, we don't care. We're making content and you're not, okay? So until you're a creator, don't come at me, bro. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on. We got Kane. Are we going into your bits right now?
What do we want to do? You tell me.
Oh, no. The rundown. Yeah, we got NFL action to recap. This week in the NFL was absolutely insane. As Johnny mentioned, he had some bad beats. Apparently he's got beef with me now too. I'm a little bit nervous now. He kind of threw off the vibe for the show because he called me out at the front end.
No, brother. I'm just speaking my mind.
No, we're gonna. Okay. well, we're going to go into our little NFL rundown here because we had a lot of action. It was great action. So let's recap week 2, and then we'll dive into some week 3 things that we're looking forward to. But we'll start with Johnny's 32-team segment, all right? So let me get this list ready, and we'll start firing because I want to see how your opinions have changed after this week. All right, Miami Dolphins.
Good.
Buffalo Bills.
Best team in football.
New England Patriots.
Stink.
New York Jets.
Stink.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Stink.
Baltimore Ravens.
Scary.
Cleveland Browns.
Choked the chicken.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Stink.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Frisky.
Houston Texans.
Frisky.
Indianapolis Colts.
Stink.
Tennessee Titans.
Stink.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Dangerous.
LA Chargers.
Dangerous.
The Denver Broncos.
Fools.
The Vegas Raiders.
Choked the chicken.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Best team in the NFC.
The New York Giants.
Frisky.
The Washington Commanders.
Frisky.
Dallas Cowboys.
Stink.
Your Minnesota Vikings.
Underwhelming.
The Green Bay Packers.
Below average at best.
The Detroit Lions.
Solid.
The Chicago Bears.
Feeble.
The Tampa Bay Bucks.
Solid.
The New Orleans Saints.
Cheaters.
Carolina Panthers.
Stink.
Atlanta Falcons.
Frisky.
San Francisco 49ers.
Solid.
Los Angeles Rams.
Solid.
Seattle Seahawks.
Stink.
Arizona Cardinals.
Frisky.
All right. I think what stood out to me there is a lot of teams stink in the National Football League right now.
Correct.
I mean seriously, like there's not a lot of clubs that have shown us a lot. And I'd agree with that. Like there's been some surprises, right? Like the Bengals stink.
Yes.
The Patriots stink.
Yes.
It's interesting right now. The league is interesting right now, and it's a feeling out process. The first 2 weeks are kind of, you got to find yourself and find your rhythm, and it's going to be that way throughout, like, I don't know, probably first 5 or 6 weeks, but like it's an interesting league right now.
Who's an interesting
hard to handicap.
Who's an interesting team right now to me is and don't get me wrong, I'm a horrible handicapper. I lost all my fucking bets. I'm terrible. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Is Trevor
Super
Lawrence
interesting
legit?
team.
They could
Super
win that
interesting
division.
team.
Yes.
Yeah, but I would also say that, are the Colts just like the worst team in football?
No, they're the second worst team.
I think it's a good win for the Jaguars. Like Trevor Lawrence needs to rip that monkey off his back. You know what I mean? Like he's starting to get there. You're starting to see that click on offense, and Christian Kirk, I mean, looks like everything they could have hoped for out of a
but the
wideout.
only thing with the Jaguars that I don't like is they have that moron Doug Peterson as their head coach. That hurts.
He still looks like he's like, I don't know, what year do you think he graduated high school? Like 89? Like he looks like he's going to homecoming he looks like he's the homecoming king of his 89 high school.
What are you, Doug Peterson, bro? 89?
What year did he graduate high school? I don't know.
That man's 55, 60.
What does 89 translate to anymore? I don't even fucking know. These kids are born in 2000 now.
Right.
I don't even know I don't know math.
I agree. It's like you just lose complete track of time. You have no idea.
I'm just
20
saying
years
he
ago
looks
was
like a moron.
2000.
And that
Yeah, I'm
that
just saying he
entire
looks like a
statement
moron.
is
He's
making
an
me
idiot.
feel like you're off of Aaron Rodgers' ayahuasca.
Kane, let's not get started on the worst team in football,
Who's that?
the Chicago Bears.
The
You'll say
monsters of
you
the
can say
Midway.
yeah,
We'll get to that.
the
We'll get to
monsters
that.
of the hardly the monsters of the Midway. I mean,
How do
my
you guys feel
God.
about Tom Brady? Tom Brady getting a veteran rest day every Wednesday.
Most guys do now. Most guys do.
No. This is a little bit different though. This I would say that I'm a little bit concerned about. The Bucks are winning football games and they're 2-0 to start the year, but the vibe around that team is super weird right now. We had Bruce Arians on the sideline basically inciting that fight between Lattimore and Mike Evans. Like, super weird. Like, Bruce Arians showing up on the sidelines when he's not the head coach anymore is like, some CEO showing up at his workplace the day after he got
Micromanaging.
shit canned and trying to come in and like dictate. Like, it's super weird. I don't understand that. And is Brady's rage like on the sideline justified? I don't know what he's getting all pissed off about. What is he chucking tablets for? Like,
I mean,
I
this
think
is
he's got some pent up aggression about his home life. Maybe it was Bruce Arians on the sideline.
Interesting.
His guys aren't healthy. The vibe around the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now is off-putting to me. But I think they still beat the Packers this week handily. I think they beat the Packers this week by 2 touchdowns.
Of course. Interesting point you brought up. Pent up. We've seen Tom Brady get angry. We've seen Tom Brady get fired up. It's Tom Brady. That's what he does. That's why part of the reason why I love that guy is he just goes out there and leaves it all on the line. However, you're right. Sundays seem different. And I'm wondering if, like you said, his home life, who knows? I heard she's going back to work.
They're broke.
She's going back into the workforce. That's what I heard.
Where does she work, or is she just selling feet pics?
Dude, she could. And no, she could go do anything. I mean, she's the richest supermodel of all time. But what about their kids? There's a lot of questions there. We might have to have a feminine touch on our show, maybe to help elaborate on that. I'm not sure. I have no idea, but you bring that up. That's a great point, Anderson.
Yeah. But actually,
I'm not well versed in this subject. But
and all jokes aside, though, seriously, like the Bruce Arians things is really weird to me. And if like Tom Brady, I don't think the relationship between Arians and Brady were like very good to begin with. I mean, obviously they won a Super Bowl together, but I feel like Brady was kind of like, all right, dude, get off my back, old man. Like, and the fact that he's still hanging out on the sidelines is just a little bit weird. And the rest day, to go back to your question, Kane, the rest day, it wouldn't be weird in any other situation. The man is old as fuck. All right. He needs his time off. Everybody needs veteran days. Nobody's going to blame you for getting a veteran day, but like, I don't know what he's doing. It's a little bit different when you're getting like just a day off of practice and you're still at the facility versus personal time off. Well, away from the team.
I think that's more common now, and I don't think that's that big of a deal. But he also like wasn't at camp, right?
Yeah. Does the Bucs rest day?
The Bucs will be fine. Their defense is solid. Their offense will figure it out. They'll get healthy and they'll be fine.
Does the rest day validate that Tom Brady is, and these have been rumors thrown around, Tom Brady is on The Masked Singer, which is filmed on Wednesdays?
Cite your source.
The internet.
I think that's a load of BS, and I don't even want to hear the term Masked Singer again in my fucking life.
Not on this show.
Garbage.
Not on this show.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the things that happened in week 1, though, that were absolutely bonkers, because it absolutely went insane. I mean, you talked about the Ravens game first, right? Like they were up 21 points in the fourth quarter, and somehow the Dolphins find a way to come back and win that ball game. And And that's not even scratching the surface as to what happened last week. I keep saying week 1, it was week 2.
I feel I feel like the difference between, and you're going to go into probably the Jets and the Browns and the Raiders and Cardinals.
Yep.
In those games, teams lost. I didn't feel like, and I watched the fucking game, I didn't feel like Baltimore lost the game. I felt like Miami just came back and beat them. Like, it was crazy. Versus, I feel like those other 2 games, those teams lost.
Yeah, but they also left Tyreek Hill wide open, a couple of times. And it's like, you can't really allow that to happen when that's like what they're trying to do to you, That's the Dolphins. They're trying to get that over the top play to Tyreek Hill. You got to be able to shut that down.
So are you not
can't
giving
allow
Tua
that
credit?
You can't allow the breakdown in coverage to happen like that late in the ball game. You just can't. But no, I am giving credit to Tua. I think he had the best game of his career.
Yeah.
That goes without saying because dude threw 6 touchdowns.
I see Tua in my nightmares.
I think he had that dog in him in that game, and I really my respect went up for him quite a bit, quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously, you talked about the Cardinals and at the Raiders. I mean, insane. The Raiders are up 20-0, right? It looked like Kyler Murray was up late on a double XP weekend on COD again. He had nothing going for him in the first half. And then all of a sudden in the second half, it's like he took ayahuasca and he was running around doing whatever he wanted, slinging the ball all over the place, throwing dimes. And then he was making plays with his legs. I mean, that 2-point conversion where not the 2-point. It was a 2-point conversion where he like ran a total of 85 yards or something on the play and then just jets into the corner of the end zone. And then he does the same thing with the game on the line on 4th and goal. It's just that dude athletically can make plays that not many other guys can. And you just have to tip your cap sometimes. But I'm going to call them the Oakland Raiders.
Oakland.
They are the 2021 Minnesota Vikings. They cannot finish a game. And I think this season could go terribly south for them. If teams are able to take away Devontae Adams from them, the dude had 1 reception for 12 yards and a touchdown. Like, if they take away Devontae Adams and they can't do anything else on offense, Derek Carr is going to look like shit, and that thing's going to go down the pisser, and McDaniel's going to be on the hot seat. Like,
and let's not forget.
I feel bad for Raider fans, though.
Yeah, I don't fucking feel bad for them. What I will say is last week in my rundown, I did say that the Raiders don't block. That's going to be a problem. Now, let's streamline into the Oakland Raiders against the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. Who do you like in that one, Erickson? What do you think about that one? That one's super interesting because it has, I feel like, a lot of implications on the line for, I mean, the loser's done.
For both teams. Yeah. I kind of like the Titans in that one. I mean, they look like hell last week against the Bills. The Bills absolutely torched them. But it's like a bounce back spot for them, and it's a good bounce back spot for them because the Raiders haven't looked good either. And can I trust the Raiders going on the road right now to put up enough points to win that ball game? I don't necessarily. But I haven't seen anything from the Titans really either. I just think at home, you got to kind of go with the home team. They're home dogs in this one. +2. I'll take the Titans.
Best bet.
But yeah,
football,
you're right.
Home dogs.
Yeah, but you're right. This is key for both teams there.
Right.
But I mean, so was the last one. It was Cardinals were 0-1 going into the game. Raiders were 0-1. They kind of both really needed that win, and the Raiders couldn't get it done.
And I think when people hear this, it's going to be, well, that's an overreaction, this overreaction, that. But it kind of isn't, man. You can't start 0. If you start 0-3, I mean.
Yeah.
Kane, what are your thoughts? What game do you like?
This week coming up, I think, I don't know, it's going to be a shootout for Miami. I'm just really excited for that matchup.
It's the best matchup of the week.
No. I mean, you've got Tua, like Cam said, coming off a career game. I'm willing to say that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are the best wide receiving duo in the National Football League.
Maybe.
I mean, you've got one of them going deep. You've got one of them coming across the middle and can create space. You've got Tua who can move, and he can see over his offensive line now.
Yeah, apparently.
Well,
is Gabe Davis going to play, Kane?
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't think it matters. I think I like covering that one just because I think it's going to be a close game. I think both teams are really good. I think that the way that
I like the points as well. I like the points at home as well. I think it's kind of the scary part is it's kind of a letdown spot for both teams. That's kind of how I feel. And it's a short week for the Bills. They got to travel down to Miami. It's not easy. The Vikings have to go down there. I'm kind of terrified about that myself. Kane, what's your take on the Giants?
Giants, Saquon, he looks to be himself. Danny Dimes not doing bad. Like you said, they're a frisky team. They're not a playoff team. They're not a playoff team, but they're a team that you're going to overlook. They're a team that, week to week, teams are going to overlook them, and they could play a spoiler position at the end of the season for some teams. I think they're kind of, not to say they're like Detroit, but I think Detroit also has that same potential. Detroit is not a playoff team this year, but they have the potential to spoil and just kind of crap on some team seasons. They look at that as a historical easy week.
Can I touch on a couple other things? I lost you guys there for a minute. Can I touch on a couple other games in week 2 that were surprising to me?
Yep.
So obviously we got the Jets led by Joe Flacco that score 14 points in the final 2 minutes to win the ball game against the Browns. I mean, that was insane. They recovered the onside kick. They didn't really, I watched the last possession for the Jets and it looked like they were just like all over the place. They didn't really know what they were doing, but they found a way to get it in the end zone and win that game. That was insane. How did the Browns lose that one?
I'll tell you how. First off, did you see that disgusting logo at midfield? I don't even know what do they call that thing? That thing's terrible.
Brownie the elf or something like that.
Yeah, they should just
Buddy
go back
the
to
elf. I don't know.
They should go back to no logo. It was sick. And also the other thing that lost that game was Kevin Stefanski brings his kids down like they're going to win the game on the onside kick. And then they flash to him and it's like, it was embarrassing. Embarrassing.
It
was a bad.
Bad. And Robert Saleh, where are the receipts? I haven't heard anything about that. I want the receipts.
What really lost that game for the Browns was the insensitive tailgate display that a couple fans had set up. I think I heard Robert Kraft.
Voyage.
No, I think Robert Kraft flew in. So there were some fans tailgating, and they had a mannequin laying down on a table with a fake erection, and they were just saying, I think a couple people, they were wearing Deshaun jerseys, maybe all of them, and they were saying, above average, bigger than me.
That's not saying much.
But yeah, hey, it gets the job done. But anywho, there were some signs, very insensitive, saying that rub and tug isn't frowned upon at their tailgate. Items along those lines.
Are you claiming karma killed the Browns?
I think if they're not in the corner of 36 women, I think that's some bad karma.
Yep, we stand for women on this podcast.
Always have, always will.
Yeah, but
solidarity.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the reason behind the loss, but yeah, I didn't see that, and that is disturbing to me.
It's disgusting.
It's absolutely disturbing.
Frankly.
Yep, it's disgusting, and there's no room for that in this league. There's no room for that on Voyage.
Ever.
And so, yeah, the Jets find a way to win the ball game with Joe Flacco at the helm. Interesting game. But, the thing there too is like Garrett Wilson looks legit. They look like a decent club. I mean, they were fighting in that game the whole way. Sure, they were down 2 scores towards the end of the ball game. But like they competed pretty well. The Jets are an interesting team to me.
They've had good draft picks. Like Quinnen Williams is obviously really fucking good. They have guys that are good. I don't know, man. I mean, it's the Jets at the end of the day, and they're not making the playoffs. They're a nobody. I don't know. I mean, they're gonna really have to work to be frisky, in my opinion. What do you guys think about the Broncos? I have them as fools. They're foolish. They're a foolish team in a foolish city full of foolish fans
Yeah, they
with a foolish quarterback.
I think what you're alluding to there is that they paid Russell Wilson the bag before they ever saw him take a snap with the team. And
I didn't mean to come
the
up
way
with
that
fans. I should have said ownership. Keep going.
but maybe the fans too. I don't mind
Probably
ripping
the
on
fans too,
Bronco
yeah.
fans.
They're probably stoned or something.
But I think that they are foolish because of that. And I don't know that Russell Wilson is going over all too well in that locker room. I think Nathaniel Hackett is losing him games at this point, though, like with the play calling. I mean, you got Russell Wilson's still a top 10 quarterback. Like you got to be able to find a way to, but you got to be able to find a way to be able to move the ball in that offense. I don't care who you're playing. Like the Texans, they're frisky. I get it. But like scoring only 16 points in that game is pretty atrocious.
Did you see that clip of him on the bench? Him as in Russell Wilson, and he's telling everybody to run, pass and run. Like, bro, if I'm in college, that's one. Oh, I guess you could be getting paid in college now, but like high school, maybe that's one thing. But this is professional football.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. I wouldn't like
it's
that
corny.
if I was standing on the sideline.
I don't like Russell Wilson.
Cornball Wilson.
Yeah.
Do you think it's just an adjustment period going from DK and Ty Lockett to a relatively inexperienced and much smaller Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton? Do you think that's?
I mean, Jerry Judy's taller than Tyler Lockett. I'm not saying that they're. I think it's a pretty relatively not exact equivalent to what he had. He's got a better offensive line. I don't know. I don't know.
It was definitely interesting, but they're gonna have to figure something out if they want to compete, especially in that division. Because what I've seen so far from the Broncos is ass, frankly. I mean, they've played 2 bad clubs, 2 non-playoff teams so far, and they haven't showed me anything that would indicate that they're even going to be a factor at all in the AFC. So unless something changes drastically,
especially
I don't like
division.
The vibes.
Yeah,
I don't like the vibes coming out of the Mile High City right now.
Nope.
The other two that were interesting to me though was the Rams. The Rams really tried to piss it down their leg against the Falcons. The Falcons stormed back in that game. They had the punt return blocked for 6, and then they sustained a couple of drives, and they had an opportunity to win the ball game there at the end. Mariota threw a pick over the middle to Jalen Ramsey, and
that was a sick play by Jalen Ramsey.
I am glad that I didn't take the Rams. I had some late line movement come in. I got a notification on Rams -10, and I'm glad I didn't get there in time to play that. And I took I had the Falcons initially locked in with 10 on our Pick'em League, and I'm glad I rode that because
I think me and
the
you
Rams,
were
the Rams just didn't look like they had any finishing capabilities in that ball game, and that's unfortunate to see at home.
I mean,
we're defending Super Bowl champs.
I think they're still hungover. I don't think they come out of that division. I think they probably make the playoffs. What do you think about the 49ers?
49ers, I like them better without Trey Lance.
I do too. I was curious to see what it looked like, and I think that he does have a lot of upside, especially with Kyle Shanahan. But George Kittle gets healthy, man.
Yeah, I mean,
they have playmakers on defense. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah. I think they obviously are looking at it right now as, we're glad that we didn't get rid of Jimmy G, because he's going to help us win football games now. And I think that he gives them a better chance to win at this point, than Trey Lance does or did, so it is unfortunate to see the way that he went down, but these things happen in the league, and it's going to be interesting to see how he bounces back from that. But as of right now, I like the 49ers even better than I did before this week. And Jimmy G is just a more solidified quarterback. He gives you a better chance to distribute it to their weapons, and they're scary now. I like them to come out of this division.
I agree.
The other one that was interesting to me was, and listen, it's not that interesting to me really, because I know what the Cowboys are capable of, but the Bengals not even really being able to put up a fight against the Cowboys. They competed towards the end there, required a game-winning kick from the Cowboys to win that football game. But the fact that the Bengals couldn't score more than 17 points against that Cowboys D is a little bit alarming. The Cowboys front really got after the Bengals, and Kane was over here touting last week that, the Bengals don't have a good offensive line, but does it even matter? Like, they still went to the Super Bowl last year. I think it matters. Okay. You play a good front.
Blocking in football, that matters.
You play a good front like that in the Cowboys, and you're going to get beat. Doesn't matter who they have at quarterback. Cooper Rush actually looked better than he did last year. And I'd take him over Dak Prescott the way that he looked in week 1. I'm not saying I would take him over Dak Prescott. I'm just saying Cooper Rush at least deliver the ball to his guys where it needed to be.
I think a couple of things with the Cowboys, and Kane, you can follow this up. I think you can't trust Mike McCarthy. The guy just keeps getting fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter. It's insane. You can't trust that guy. I have a bold take here. I don't know how bold it is. Micah Parsons could be a better defensive player than Aaron Donald. I think he's more dynamic. I think you can line him up in more spots, and he can affect the game at a higher rate than Aaron Donald can. Not taking anything away from Aaron Donald, but Micah Parsons is just that fucking good.
If I'm Dallas and I'm thinking about the outlook of this year, and they're always throwing money around Jerry Jones wanting to win now. I don't think they're going to make it that far this year. Cooper Rush, he looks better than Dak. Is there any possibility with Zeke's downturn, Dak being hurt? I think he's out 6 weeks. If you're Jerry Jones, do you think about maybe packaging Zeke and Dak and shipping him off somewhere, seeing what you can get back?
Are you stupid?
No.
Listen, brother.
Tony Pollard,
nobody's going to take on that contract, number one. And number two, Jerry Jones stays loyal to his guys. He's known for it. It's not going to happen.
He's a racist.
Kane,
how?
Kane, I think that Serrano pepper's getting to your head a little bit. You were complaining about a headache earlier. I think you got some brain fog.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to happen.
No, nobody would do that. I do think that Pollard is the guy there.
Yes. He gives a much better opportunity for explosive plays.
No, their defense is good. I'm serious about that Micah Parsons thing. I'm dead serious.
But yeah, it is a little bit interesting that Mike McCarthy continues to gain weight, despite the fact he's not living in Wisconsin anymore. He probably hit up the Texas, or I don't know when the Texas State Fair is, but he's probably hitting that up a little bit too much. Fried Oreos, the whole
Texas roadhouses.
Eating a little too much Texas barbecue.
No, I don't know. He
Mike
crosses
McCarthy,
his arms. He just looks so lost. He's just a guy out in the fucking wilderness and just looks up and just has no idea where he is. That's what he looks like. And he's just extremely overweight, and he tries to, it's terrible. It's terrible. And what is it? Kellen Moore? Is that the offensive coordinator?
Yep.
Does that guy ever shut his mouth?
He's a slouch.
He never shuts his mouth. He has terrible posture. Notice it. It's terrible. I can't trust Dallas. I like the Eagles in that division, and I like the Giants to finish with a better record than the Cowboys.
Giants are look. Do you like the Giants on Monday night next week at home against the Cowboys?
I think when we lost you a little, we touched on the Giants. I didn't bring up the Monday night game. I'm teetering on it. I historically I like the Giants in Dallas. Daniel Jones. I mean, that guy.
The Giants are at home on Monday.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
No, what I'm saying is the Giants, when they go to Dallas.
Yeah.
When they go to Dallas, they seem to have better success for some reason. I just can't trust Daniel Jones, man. And I think that Saquon could end up being a guy like Chris McCaffrey, where he just gets open, you just give him the ball. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. So let's look at some of these week 3 matchups. We've already touched on a few of them, but like the Chiefs at the Colts. I mean, I think that line is too short at 5.5. I don't know why we're giving the Colts so much credit here. It's a little bit scary to me just because Vegas has set it there, but I think the Chiefs go in and steamroll them. I'll have more analysis on that later as part of my picks, but I don't get that line.
I agree with you, especially because I think 5.5, the Chiefs are an auto teaser for you gambling heads out there. They're an automatic teaser. 6-point teaser.
Do you the Texans at the Bears? I think the Bears are in for a long day with the Texans.
You know what? All my trash talk about the Bears, I'm riding with the Bears. I think the Texans are at their end of their road streak. They went out to Mile High, now they come to Chicago. I think the Bears are pissed off. My only thing is, and Kane, you get your piece about the Bears at the end of the episode, but Justin Fields is becoming a distraction at the least. I mean, if Kirk Cousins said that to the media, I would be furious.
You need thicker skin. That's all I gotta say. We'll touch on that. We'll touch on that a little later.
All right, the Jacksonville Jaguars go to SoFi Stadium and take on the Chargers. It's a 7-point spread. This one is also interesting to me because I think the Jaguars, as we touched on before, have some fight in them. But obviously, I really do think the Chargers are super competitive, potential AFC, champion caliber team. But I think the Jaguars are frisky, and 7 points might be too much.
I think 7 points is too much. And the thing that I don't know, take it for what it is, but cross-country travel, I think the Jags are going to come out slow. I think 7 points it's not enough for them.
I would agree. I also think let's not forget, people are so soon to forget in this league what I believe it was last year, right? What with Tyrod Taylor and the Chargers doctor.
Yep.
So last year the shot and they messed it up. Well, Justin Herbert has a rib injury too, and like you said, Kane, they're traveling. I got the Jags.
All right, a couple more tidbits here for week 3. I like the Bucks at home. Despite all the trash we talked about the Bucks, I like them to beat the Packers at home. It's another letdown spot for the Packers. Bucks
also adding Cole Beasley this week.
I don't care. He's a racist, and I don't think it impacts the game at all. But I think the Bucks may have made a few moves too soon to where, you get rid of guys like Tyler Johnson and stuff, and you could say what you want about Tyler Johnson, but like, why are we cutting guys like that? Now they're dealing with wide receiver injuries, but it doesn't matter. I think Tom Brady gets it done at home.
A sharp play would be the Packers team total under. I think the Bucks are gonna absolutely rout them, and I like the under in the game. I like the under in the game. I don't care what
Okay.
it's at.
And I like
Low
the
points.
Cardinals. I like the Cardinals to win at home against the Rams. I think it's a good opportunity for the Cardinals to get back on track, and the way that they finished out the second half there in Vegas gives me hope for that team. I do tend to think that the Cardinals actually play worse at home. The environment there is shit, but I'll go with the Cardinals here as road or as home dogs. And then I also like the 49ers to go into Denver and get the win there.
That's my I don't know. I'm on my yield or slow down, yellow light. That's gonna be my only play on Sunday is the 49ers to beat the Broncos. I love it.
All right. I think we've touched on enough there. Do you want to go, Kane? Let's talk about your Clase Azul classy play of the week. What do you have for this week?
This week, I think last week John gave me a 4 out of 10. So, like I said, the only place to go is up. I've got Dan Campbell, skipper for your Detroit Lions. Gave one of his offensive linemen, who is also named Dan Skipper, or maybe Don Skipper, but practice squad guy, bounced around team to team for about 6 years. Finally got the nod, and Dan sent him out there before anybody else to address the media. I think that's a classy play. Who knows if this guy's going to be around much longer. Gave him his shot in the spotlight. Recognized the trials and tribulations he's been through, sticking it out. And I feel like, a guy getting a starting job in the NFL as an offensive lineman 6 years in, it's almost unheard of. So I think that was a classy play by Dan.
Talk about the trials and tribulations.
Oh, I mean, you look around the league, unless you're an established lineman, I don't know how many guys get a starting job, 6 years into the league. So sticking it out after 3, 4, 5 years and saying, I'm still chasing the dream.
4-2. 4-2.
Yeah.
Better.
We're going up.
I'll throw you a bone.
All right. Let's talk about I didn't like that classy play. I didn't. You gotta
give score.
What would that score was a 3.3. The Saban one with the horns down, I actually like that one better. I put that one probably at like a 4.2. But Kane, you got to show some more respect to Clase Azul. That's a great tequila brand, and you're doing it a disservice. I'm not going to bring up the fact that this skipper dude is a racist, but that's what I've been hearing. The rumblings on Twitter have been apparent to me that he is actually a racist and didn't deserve his time in the spotlight. And maybe there's some karma involved there as to why he's never gotten the opportunity in this league. And I don't know about his anchor. I don't know how he does in the run game. So I'm not here to speak on a practice squad guy like that. I don't know. Sure, it's cute that Dan Campbell gave him the opportunity to go in front of the media, whatever. But I mean, come on, it's just not. That's not moving the needle for me at all.
All right, fine.
Frankly, it's disrespectful. And did you know about these racist allegations, Ken? I sure hope you wouldn't have known about this.
No, I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
Okay.
Probably.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
That's fine. All right.
So with that being said, John, I think we should get into Twitter videos. So what do you got going this week?
I mean, I liked a lot of videos. I mean, I really did. I saw a lot, but nothing beats the Bryson video. That's the best video on the internet right now. It's the best, and he gets so mad. He hits his ball just, this guy sits up there and just like hammers drives. You never know where it's going to go. And he's behind the ropes and a guy tries to lift the ropes up for him and he just absolutely head dives into the rope and then just absolutely cries like a baby. That's my Twitter video.
All right, mine is not a video. You have to click on the link here and read the story, okay?
Oh,
But this was the best thing that I saw on Twitter this week, probably because of this dude's mugshot. But it was the Beyond Meat COO. This dude's name is Doug Ramsey. Just sounds like a nerd. But he was arrested after the Arkansas Razorbacks game because he tried to bite some dude's nose off. Okay. Now here's the deal. This guy probably had the Razorbacks minus 26 in that game for like 5 to 10 units. And I don't know what his unit size are, but it's probably pretty big.
we shouldn't
All right, but
discuss
these
another
are the
man's unit size.
these are the ramifications. These are the ramifications of not eating a cheeseburger in like 3 years. Okay. This dude's a COO for Beyond Meat. He's got a lot of pent up energy eating this crap that they put into their patties. He hasn't had real red meat in over 3 years. Okay. He's probably pissed off about Arkansas. They had a nail biter against Missouri State. They were down in the fourth quarter by 10 points. They needed an 82-yard punt return in the fourth quarter just to be able to sneak out that win. All right. And here's the story from Yahoo News. Okay. The alleged incident took place inside of a parking garage following the Razorbacks football game, according to a police report. All right. Ramsey got clipped. The back of his car got clipped. It was like his tire. He said it was his tire. So some dude clipped his tire or wheel well. No damage to the vehicle, but Ramsey got out of his vehicle, smashed the back windshield of this dude's car. All right. And then they got in an altercation where they were face to face, and this dude tried to bite the driver's nose. He bit the driver's nose after he shattered the back windshield. This guy is absolutely a nut job. He's charged with terroristic threatening and third-degree battery. His mugshot looks like he was piss hammered. I'd like to know what kind of car he was driving too, but like I said, this is what happens when you don't eat red meat for like 3 years, man.
So what you're saying, Erickson, is this guy tried to bite. Is it a man?
Yeah.
He tried to bite another man's nose because he clipped his car in a parking garage because he doesn't eat real meat.
I think that's the reason behind it. That's the deep-seated reasoning behind his actions, and also the fact that he probably was pissed off that the Razorbacks didn't cover. The Razorbacks were minus 26, didn't even come close to covering. Like I said, they were on the ropes against Missouri State. He probably had a bankroll on him. His blood was boiling. Dude smells when you walk around a football stadium like that, Razorback Stadium, you're smelling all the red meat. You're smelling the food on the grill. You can't enjoy it. He's probably pissed off. He's a vegan.
So let me ask you something. This man is he from Arkansas? He must be. He's an Arkansas fan.
I do not know. I didn't do that much research.
He's a vegan from Arkansas?
So that's the thing. The other thing about that is that he probably didn't have a good base going in. I'm assuming he drank his handful of beers, and he didn't have a good base. He probably had some Beyond Meat patties in him. That's not going to soak up the booze.
Nope.
So that's my Twitter moment of the week. This guy's an absolute psychopath, and I think it's absolutely hilarious.
Well done, Erickson. Well done. All right, Ken, go ahead.
Yep. So mine, courtesy of University of Cincinnati at Miami of Ohio. It's a clip out of John Boy Media, well-known media outlet. And it was a video of a ref on the call, and it looks like he's either erect or has an extremely blessed package, and he's just got it, tucked down one of his legs.
You think he's got a wrench?
I mean, either that or he was excited to see the Miami, Ohio cheerleaders.
Okay, can you tell that story again, like in 2 sentences? So the ref had a package? He had a wrench?
He either had a wrench or a very 75% chub.
And
And
where
it
was
was
this game?
tucked.
Where was this game played at?
Miami of Ohio.
Don't they have good looking or like isn't the ratio really good there?
That's what my boss tells me. His son is a freshman there.
Yeah, right,
He
right.
said, yeah.
Bro, so he definitely was looking in the crowd.
I'm thinking
What
so.
a
It's a good
pervert.
ratio.
What
Yeah,
a
but
pervert.
yeah, it's like a 2-second clip, just some guy recording it on his couch at home. But yeah, it's a wild look.
That's hilarious.
Well, I saw the video. I'm not entirely sold that dude has that big of a wrench.
Wait, tell me,
I
do I need
I
to
think
watch the
maybe it
video?
was
I haven't seen it.
it
I'm
might have
gonna
been
look
some
it up.
equipment that was in his pocket. I am not certain yet.
You think it
The
was-
No,
the reviews need to come in on that. We need to review the tape.
I
Oh, here
mean,
we go.
regardless if it was real or not,
Sorry.
it's still an interesting look.
It's funny. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's funny.
Dude, he looks like he's got an absolute wrench.
He's
Oh,
got a hog.
he turns way left too. Holy cow.
Yeah, so that's my nomination there.
Could he get looser
All right.
pants? Jesus.
So I believe I won the Twitter video, if I'm not mistaken, from last week. It was
Yes.
it fell into my lap. That one was easy. Jefferson, Cook, Jair. That was easy.
Layup.
So we'll post this one on Twitter again, and we'll see what your guys' feedback is on all these. I would just encourage you to click on the story on my tweet about the Beyond Meat guy. I mean, what a
I
loser.
mean,
I guess a
not gonna
nose
lie.
is
mugshots
kind
I'm
of
only.
not
Beyond
gonna lie
Meat,
to
but
you too. When you look at the picture, that motherfucker eats meat, dude. I mean, come on, man. There's no way
Yeah.
that guy just made money off morons that buy Beyond Meat. Look, if you're vegan out there and you want to eat Beyond Meat, I should call you a moron. All right, I shouldn't call you a moron. But he created a gimmick. That's what it looks like.
Well, if you dive a little bit deeper into that story too, Beyond Meat's stock has been struggling recently because they've been caught with kind of putting some BS in some of those patties.
Erickson, what we should do is we should recap at our next episode. You should maybe dive in a little bit deeper into Beyond Meat and give us what's going on there.
Yeah.
I
can do that.
actually think
I'm
I
curious.
actually think Cam, you should do an Impossible Whopper review with the burger reviews.
No,
right.
brother. No, brother.
But it's not Beyond Meat. Maybe I'll review a Beyond Meat patty. I don't know.
I'd be curious.
okay.
I'd be curious. Yeah, okay, keep going. Go ahead.
Let's dive into our gambling corner, and we're going to lead this off with the clown bet update. Our pick'em league. And again, I'm not championing my picks. I know I got a little bit lucky this week, but your boy is sitting at 20-12 on the season. I'm in first place with a 5 or 6 game lead, I believe. So there's my update. How you guys doing in the cellar?
Erickson, might I remind you, the winner of this league until this NFL season is done is yours truly. I won the league last year at 54%. 54%. Just want to say that I had a rough week too. I mean, I talked about it. I had the worst gambling week of my life. I had the worst NFL week of my life. It was horrible. It's absolutely terrible. And I'm sitting there with Kane. I'm sitting there with Kane.
I'll piggyback off of that.
Yeah, go ahead, Kane. I mean, you were terrible last year. You don't know what it's like to be at the top, dude. When you're at the top, you feel like you have powers. You feel like you're the man.
You have a target on your back.
Yeah.
You have a target on your back.
Yeah, but you feel like you're the man. You look at everybody else like everybody else is morons. And now I'm one of those morons. I mean, I've never been in the cellar in this league. I came in third our first year. I came in first our second year. And now I'm in the cellar with Kane. Lives in the cellar. Go ahead, Kane.
Yep, I'm down there. Bad week, like John said last week. We were tied last week, so I only did 1 game worse than John this week. But piggybacking off that, he had a terrible week. I had a terrible week. The only thing I will pride myself on was Monday Night Football. I went 2-0, and I was the only person. I don't think either of you guys took Buffalo versus Tennessee.
Nope.
Okay, so there's that. That I don't know why you wouldn't take that. Second thing, I was the only person in the Pick'em League to take the Eagles over the Vikings. So living up to my name of being a contrarian,
You are
going
not a
off the beaten
contrarian.
path.
You are not a contrarian.
That's literally
Name
the
one other
definition.
time you given a contrarian pick.
I go against the beaten path.
When?
Selling points.
When?
Selling points.
Give me a contrarian pick in college football this week.
This week?
Yeah, go ahead.
Florida.
Florida's contrarian, dude?
Yeah.
They own Tennessee. Their record against Florida's the play, bro. What are you talking about? You're not.
They've got 10.5 points. I'm saying
Get
money
out of
line.
Here.
All right.
Get out of here. But
Okay,
anyways,
all
I'm
right.
only up one game on fucking Kane this year and pick 'em. So I got my work cut out for me this week, and I like my research. I'm gonna trust my scouting, and we'll go forward.
Look, it's a long season. Again, I'm in first place right now. I'm in first place right now.
Yeah.
Again, I'm in first, but that's just right now. Okay. I understand that this league humbles you, and I'm due for a smackdown. I'm probably going to get 4 points in one of these weeks coming up, and we'll all be, you guys will be breathing down my neck. I hope that's not the case, but that's just the way it goes when you're picking the NFL. So 20-12 is probably not sustainable, but I'm going to ride this wave while I can. You guys are clowns. You guys are like eight games back of me. So
I got news for you, Erickson, and I'm going to remind you again, because you quickly forget the fact that I am the winner, the champion of this league, until somebody else proves me otherwise. I'm coming for you. Watch your back. I am not scared. I don't back down from a challenge. I don't even care about this clown bet with Kane. I'm coming for you, Ligma.
okay, well, let's go right into our gambling corner off that.
Kane went got some water.
Last week I went 2-1 on my picks in the gambling corner.
Who'd you have again?
We had Pittsburgh -10. That was easy. They easily covered. Western Michigan couldn't stand a chance. Louisiana Tech +34 was another no sweat winner. Clemson looked like they might have had an opportunity to cover there towards the end, but they couldn't get it done. And they also kind of took their foot off the gas. So, but I knew that there was no chance they were covering. And my loser was UTEP. UTEP came into New Mexico and put up a dud. New Mexico won the football game. Don't know how.
That was a loser. Thanks, dude. I actually had a pretty good college football week, honestly. For a while there, I was looking really good. I had NC State. UTSA was a miscalculation. My model fucked me up on that, dude.
Yeah. I didn't like that pick, but it is what it is.
Well, you liked it. What do you mean?
NC State? No, I didn't like that.
No. UTSA.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, UTSA I did like, and it looked like they were going to cover for most of the game.
And then I don't want to.
But Texas was just too much.
And then, as mentioned before, Ravens -3.5.
So you went 1-2 on your 3 picks from last week?
Yeah. But
Kane, how'd you?
Big week this week. I love the board. Too bad I'm on a yellow light.
Kane, what'd you go last week in your 3 picks?
Also went 1-2. Pittsburgh did not cover 1.5 points against New England. That was a surprise to me and a shock. The Bills on Monday Night Football, as previously stated, absolutely throttled the Tennessee Titans. That I don't know why more people did not take that. And then obviously the last losing bet and spicy Serrano loss of the week was my Chicago Bears +10, which was also a 12-unit loss. So that was not good.
That's sunk your ship, so to speak.
Yeah, not cash flow is not good.
Hey, and just a question, just a thought. Are you on the yellow light? Or are you all sales ahead?
I'm doing some more research, and I'm trusting you guys.
Are you going to give any college football bets on this podcast?
Eventually. I want to get a little bit more field. Personally, for me, I think I'm not confident in college football bets for myself until week 3 or 4, until you can kind of see which teams are legit because I think a lot of the value is in, ranked games, teams like 15 through 25, and those can be a blunder. That's where I like to live, and those aren't really ironed out for a couple weeks.
You know what you kind of sound like there?
Who?
Danny Ewell.
Oh, God. All right, I'm posting a full card this week. Trust me.
Okay, so let's dive right in. I'm going to give some more heavy analysis. All right. I'm going to give some heavy analysis on a few plays that I like, but I'll tell you which ones I'm locking in. All right. So be ready with that Excel spreadsheet, Kane, that we've employed you to create.
Yeah, that's your job.
So the first one that I'm interested in, and I'm sure it's on everyone's radar, but it's Wake Forest +7 against Clemson. All right. Wake Forest comes home. Clemson is gonna travel and face Wake Forest. The Demon Deacons have the longest losing streak of all time against top 10 teams. 62 straight losses. It dates all the way back to 1936. Okay, something's got to give for the Demon Deacons here. I haven't seen enough out of Clemson to make me believe that, one, they could cover, or two, that they can even win this game. I kind of like Wake Forest outright. I think that they just have the juice right now. Slinging Sam Hartman. I'm sorry. He's gonna. They had a tough one last week against Liberty, which I also put out on the show. I didn't play it, but I put it out on the show. Slinging Sam Hartman and that Demon Deacons offense looks good. I like them against Clemson in this spot. DJ Ugalele is not what he's hyped up to be, and the Clemson offense hasn't really been either. So Clemson 1-8 against the spread in September since 2020. I like the Demon Deacons to cover and potentially win this game outright.
7.
Next one. Yeah, the spread is 7.
Okay. Okay.
And then Baylor goes into Iowa State at +2.5. And this one scares me a little bit because it seems like
Does
a little bit of a trap
ratty?
here. It
Like
smells ratty.
Okay.
It smells ratty. It
I
smells
like
like a
it
trap.
too, but yeah.
Smells ratty, smells like a trap, but I think that Baylor's just the better team right now.
Yeah.
Decker, the quarterback for Iowa State. I mean, we watched him play against a legitimate team in Iowa, and
he's a lefty too.
They couldn't even move the ball. Like it was concerning, right?
Yeah.
They padded their stats. They padded his stats a little bit against bad clubs, Southeastern Missouri and Ohio. They put up 40 against each of those teams, but I don't think that matters at all. They're playing a much better team here in Baylor, who's coming in, covering 4 straight against the Cyclones, and they're 30-15 against the spread as underdogs, dating all the way back to 2012, which is the best mark in the Big 12 since then. So I like Baylor to cover here. It does seem a little bit scary to me, a little bit ratty. Don't know if I'll play that one or not, but I like it. All right. The next one, and I'm going away from the beaten path on this one a little bit, but it's Utah -14 at Arizona State. Arizona State looks like one of the worst teams in college football. They're atrocious. All right. They just got their asses handed to them by Eastern Michigan. And they just fired Herm Edwards, which doesn't give me any more hope for the Sun Devils here. And in fact, it gives me less hope. We saw what just happened in Nebraska coming off the firing of Scott Frost. I think the Arizona State Sun Devils are in for a smackdown against Utah. They haven't played anywhere near up to the competition that Utah is going to show them this weekend. And Utah goes in there and steamrolls them. Utah is 13-5 as double-digit road favorites under their current head coach, Kyle Whittingham. That's a 722 win percentage, which is best in the FBS since he took over. And that was in 2005. So Utah's just a better club here. Utah is out to prove something. Utah is coming in, knowing that they need to start putting up some numbers here and start making people scared of them in the Pac-12. We got USC looking good and all that. So I like Utah to go in and steamroll the Sun Devils in Tempe. Oregon at Washington State. That's a very interesting matchup. Washington State, the unders hit in all their games this year so far. So the under's 3-0 in Washington State games. The total's at 57.5. I'd play the under. I think Washington State could come away with a win there. It's a potential letdown spot for the Ducks. But I don't know if I'll play that one. Florida at Tennessee. We're talking about that one already. If you're going to be a contrarian in this one, you're going to take the Volunteers minus the points.
Correct.
Because Florida has had Tennessee's number of late. And every time if I have this correct, every time they've been an underdog against Tennessee, they've come away with the outright win every time. Dating back to the FBS FCS merger, which was 1978. So if you're going to be a contrarian, you take the Volunteers there. I don't know if I'm going to play that one at all. I'll probably just watch. It's going to be a good ball game. Arkansas at Texas A&M. I like Arkansas as the short road favorite here. Arkansas is 5-1 against the spread against ranked teams since last year. All right. They just play good football. And I didn't see enough from Texas A&M last week against Miami to justify anything from them. SEC ranked teams this year are 4-1 against the spread on the road. So that plays into it as well. Arkansas is 4-0 in their last 4 against the spread against Texas A&M. I think Arkansas is just the better team here. And if you're gonna pick somebody in that one, I would pick Arkansas. The next one I'm looking at, and it's a very intriguing one again, is USC at Oregon State. They're going into Corvallis as 6.5-point favorites.
Both teams
of these
are 3-0 against the spread this year.
That's exactly what I was just going to say, and
Sorry.
that is very interesting. I think Oregon State is legit, but I think USC is absolutely legit. Jordan Addison is the best receiver in college football. Caleb Williams, in my opinion, is the best quarterback in college football. I think they got a path to the college football playoff if they can escape games like this, and this is where they kind of have to nut up. Home Pac-12 dogs this year are 1-3 against the spread. So I kind of like USC to cover there. And that would be kind of another contrarian play. And my last one that I'm going to give out here, I don't want to steal the show. So Chiefs team total over 27.5 at Indianapolis. Mahomes owns Gus Bradley, who's the defensive coordinator for Indianapolis now. Gus Bradley was the Chargers D coordinator up until 2020, and last year he was the Raiders D coordinator. Mahomes hung 48 points and 41 points on the Raiders last year against this Gus Bradley defense. I don't trust the Colts at all. I think this line is too short. I even saw it at 5.5 now, but let's just be safe here and take the Chiefs team total over 27.5. I just think the Colts right now the Chiefs averaging 35.8 points per game. That's the best in the National Football League. I think they go in and put up a lot of points against the Colts. So Kane, my 3 plays are going to be, I'll trust the Demon Deacons Club at home to cover +7 against Clemson. I will take the Utah Utes minus the 2 scores at Arizona State. And then I'm going to play the Chiefs team total at over 27.5. I really like that one. I've had a good year so far in the NFL. We'll try to keep it rolling. And I like the Chiefs to steamroll.
All right. John, go ahead.
I like your card, Erickson. I would also add Kentucky in there. They've been covering against the spread. They're 3-0 against a bad Northern Illinois club, MAC conference. And the other one I really like is, did you look at Penn State at all?
No.
They cover. They've been
They're
covering.
on my
They're
ban
3-0.
list.
They're 3-0 against the spread. I think James Franklin is he's just that big of an asshole that he will just look at the spread and want to cover that. You know what I mean? Like, he seems like one of those greaseball coaches that'll cover against a bad Central Michigan club. The other one I really like, and you didn't mention, which I was surprised, the Gophers.
Yeah,
I
I do
love
like
the
the
Gophers.
Gophers.
What did you say?
I do like the Gophers a lot. I think they go into Lansing, get the win and the cover.
Yeah.
I don't see this as a bounce back spot at all for the Spartans. I think the Gophers will have their way with them.
And listen, I'm not a PJ Fleck guy. I'm the first to admit that. I wouldn't like playing for him. I don't agree with a lot of stuff he does. It's not that I don't agree with it. I don't like it. But that dude gets his team ready to play. And Mo Ibrahim is the best running back in college football. Kane, my 3 picks. And again, I'm on the yellow light, so I didn't go that deep into the lines. I got the 49ers -1, Gophers -3, and the Ohio State Buckeyes -18.5 over a bad Wisconsin Badgers club.
I like those. I like all those. So going into mine, we're going to stay on the NFL train. That's all we're doing right now. Don't trust myself anywhere else. And we're going all home teams this week. That's the trend. So the first one I like the 12th man in Seattle at home against the Falcons. Falcons traveling a long way. I think Seattle, like Mariota's looking fine in Atlanta. Not really having the breakout performance out of Cordero Patterson. Kyle Pitts is absent. Fans are pissed off with that, and I just don't see Atlanta traveling up to Seattle and coming out with a win. And that's a -2 spread for the Falcons. I like that a lot. Moving on, Chargers -7 at home against the Jaguars. I know we kind of touched on this earlier too. I don't like.
Didn't you just say you like the Jaguars?
No, I said I like the Chargers before. I don't dislike the Jags, but this week they're going across country. They're going to the opposite coast, and they're playing in a place that it seems like the fans are behind the team.
You're kidding, right? You're kidding, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Nobody cares about them there.
The Chargers have like one of the worst fan bases in football.
I know. Put them back up in San Diego where they had like 10% more of a following. But regardless, I don't think the Jags are going to keep this up. They're going, like I said, across country. I think that's a huge factor in a lot of games. And then my last pick for the week, aside from the spicy Serrano, which we'll get into right after this, I'm staying on the Bears -3 at home against the Texans. It hurts to say that. I think it's going to be a bounce back week. We'll talk about that in a little bit, and that's what I'm going to keep it at right now. My spicy Serrano spread of the week. I'm 0-1 in those.
Oh.
0-1.
Go ahead.
But I think this is an easy pick. We've got Chiefs -6.5 in Indy. It kind of, as we've been talking, it kind of feels like more of a trap game. That the Chiefs are going to come back to earth. Indy's going to figure it out. But I still like it. Chiefs 6.5, spicy Serrano play of the week. Call me out. I also want to discuss something. I think if somebody's going to call me out on Twitter for the spicy Serrano play of the week, they have to prove that they have action on the opposing pick.
No.
Thoughts on that?
No.
Okay.
We're open to all interactions on social media.
Well, I'm just saying then there's no skin in the game. It's not really a friendly wager.
Well, then don't do it.
Well, no, I'm going to do it. So just wanted to throw that feeler out there.
All right. So we're
Do you
locking
have a
it
take
in.
on that, Erickson?
I got no take on that. I think it's a sorry excuse. I think, Kane, you got to continue to eat those peppers if you continue to lose. I am actually sweating now because you took the Chiefs in a game that I like the Chiefs to dominate in. So the fact that you're 0-1 on the Serrano picks gives me a little bit of hesitancy here. I'm not going to change my play. I like the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs over 28 total team points. But yeah, you're kind of worrying me there a bit, Kane.
No, we're climbing up the ranks this week. No, don't worry.
All right. So that about does it for our gambling corner there. We'll post out the card on social media. Let us know whose card you like, whose plays you're tailing. And yeah, we're always open to the interaction. If somebody calls out Kane on that Serrano play, if somebody has the balls to take the Colts, I'd love to see it. So let's get this man to eat another pepper on camera next week. Although I don't know how much this one affected you, Kane. I know that you were complaining about some headache symptoms earlier, but and you might have had brain fog throughout the episode
Seeing
with
stars.
some of your takes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's not going well. It's out of the mouth, but it's passing through the body.
I feel
It's
like
not
if you
going
just
well.
ate a jalapeno, it would be worse.
No, Serranos are
I mean,
spicier.
how hot can this pepper be? Erickson, have you ever had a serrano pepper?
I couldn't tell you. Probably.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
All right.
The Serrano is 15,000 Scoville units, which is the spicy ranking scale. A jalapeno is between 2,000 and 5,000. So this is essentially 3 times hotter than a jalapeno.
All right, I'll take your word for it. I don't got much to say.
I mean, I can't.
If somebody,
yeah. What are we
if
gonna
somebody
say
has the
about it?
nuts to take the Colts, I'd love to see it. So
It'd
let's
be
hope
great
not,
for a
because
fan to eat a serrano pepper and just be like, yeah, it's actually just like a green pepper, dude. It's not that hot.
some guy gets on there, calls you out, and then he just eats like a bell pepper.
Yeah. A red pepper.
All right. That about does it for our gambling corner. So we'll track those, keep you guys posted on that, and we'll have more plays, of course, and our full cards will be posted on Action. I've got a new Twitter handle, by the way. It's Cam's Cappin. And so give us a follow on Twitter, give us a follow on Action Network. And everything we play is on there. So, we got some guys in the retail gamblers too that don't post their plays on Action, and they like to talk a lot of shit. And the thing is, I'm not gonna take into account anything that any of those dudes tell me until they start proving their plays. So, I'm going to call out Danny Ewell right here, right now, because he called me out. I took Nebraska with the points last week. Yes, it was a blunder. Yes, it was a system play. Yes, Danny would know nothing about that. Okay. And the fact of the matter is, I haven't seen that dude post his full card on Action in over a year. So until he
what
does,
happened to it?
I think he can't post his full card on Action because he's got like 80 plays every Saturday. It's just like he's got too much action down that he can't take the time to go on Action and do it.
What's going on? I mean, I live with the man. He literally is, probably can hear me right now. But, I mean, I gave out Oklahoma on this podcast last week. Now, I don't mind, I understand the interim head coach bounce back week at home rivalry game with Nebraska, but I thought they were that bad, and I can understand why you would take that. And he's following your action, Erickson. When I come walking down the stairs, he goes,
I know.
Did you see Cam took Nebraska?
He's got notifications on for my Action plays. So,
and I'm like, so like what? I was like, so you're on Oklahoma? And he's like, yeah. It's like, well,
hey, here's the deal. I'm gonna also put it out there right now, and that way I am held accountable to this. I've been wanting to do this for the past few weeks, but I think now's a good time to start it. I'm gonna do a dogs parlay. So I'm gonna do 3 underdogs that I think have a chance to win this weekend. Could be CFB, could be NFL. I'm gonna do a 3-leg parlay for half a unit, and I'm going to post it on a video play on Twitter, and it's going to be combined with a beer tweet. So be looking out for that at Cam's Cappin, because I'm all cap. I'm all cap.
hey,
it's not no cap. I don't even know what that means. No cap. I'm all cap. So
fully capped. Maybe we should do a little bit in the gambling corner where it's dog of the week.
Yeah, if you want to do that, then I'll tell you right now, my dog of the week is the Dolphins +5.
Time out. No, we're talking money line here. Straight up.
Mine
dog.
is Wake Forest.
You like Wake Forest to win?
Wake Forest wins that game in Winston-Salem this week. Sam Hartman throws for 700 yards. They win by 7 to 10 points against Clemson. Clemson is frauds. Wake Forest is winning the ACC this year, and Wake Forest is my pick to straight up win against a Clemson team that I have no faith in.
You know what my dog of the week is, Erickson? The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Love it.
I
You
love
think they
that
win on the
Kane.
money
I
line?
love that Kane has the opposite side. What did you say?
You think they win straight up?
Yep.
All right.
I love the Jaguars, man. And I think it maybe scares me a little bit. It scared me a little bit going into this that I liked them too much. But now that I know that Kane's on the Chargers, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love that Chase Daniels could be starting. I love it. Love it. Go ahead, Kane. Who's your dog of the week?
It's a risky play. I'm going with the Cardinals. Cardinals at home versus the Rams.
Love it.
Rams have the Super Bowl hangover. Just going to keep it at that.
Love it.
The Call of Duty beta ends this week, so Kyler will not have anything to worry about.
Dude, that's some of the best stuff on Twitter. Kyler Murray and Call of Duty.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
All right, Kane, you want to go into your Bears piece?
Yeah, we might as well. Not much to talk about. Recap against the Packers. Basically, the story of the game looked good. First quarter, came out with a lead. Dave Montgomery moving the ball, looking back to a good former pre-injury himself last year. 122 yards on the ground. Did not score a touchdown. Kind of sad to see that. But, I think he had a solid performance, looked great, handled the ball well. Khalil Herbert, couple rushes. He busted one off, I think like 12 or 15 yards. I'm still huge on him. Cole Kmet, not big on. Haven't been big on him. I think he's not a good draft pick that we took. Just not big on him. His one target hit him right in the breadbasket and he dropped it. Only other thing I'm going to say, two things. Defense looked terrible. Roquan really needs to rally the troops and tell them to wrap up. AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones, good running backs, but I mean, with the push that we're getting, and I thought we had a good push coming out of Gibson. I believe he had 2 sacks on Aaron Rodgers. You just need to do more. You need to wrap up. You need to take a guy to the ground. Looking at the offense, Justin Fields, not much to say there. I don't blame him. 7 of 11, 14 passing plays if you include the 3 sacks. You're not going to win a ball game tossing the ball 14 times. You're just not. QB draw from the shotgun on the 1 yard line, actually on the inches line. Absolute blunder right there. That would have been a potential cover. That's all I'm going to say on Bears Packers. Looking forward to the next week. Looking at the Texans, I think it's a bounce back game. I think the defense is going to come out strong. I also think that with a lot of the criticism in the passing game, I think we're going to throw a lot of passes. Expect Darnell Mooney to get some movement. I think he's going to get a lot of stuff over the middle. I think St. Brown on the outside, I like him a lot. I think he's going to have a good game. And Darnell Mooney, the only way to go is up after -4 yards last week and minus half a fantasy point for his one of his lone targets. So that's all I'm going to say on the Bears this week. I like a -3 at home. Looking to go 2-0 at home, get back up in the division a little bit, mixy division. So that's my overview right there.
I really like the Texans this week. I really like the Texans. And that's not just a dig on you. I actually just really do. I mean, yeah, the Bears showed flashes in the first half there last week, but I think what you're saying is accurate. I mean, the defense is concerning. The offense, what's his ass, carried the ball pretty well. And, you got a couple good backs that can tote the rock, I guess a little bit, but I've got absolutely no faith in the Bears' weapons. I don't think Fields can just sit in the pocket and pick apart a defense. I think that's going to be a problem going forward. I think the Texans are actually a frisky club. I think they go into Soldier Field and get the straight up win. I'm probably going to take them on the money line. Davis Mills is good. Their defense is solid. I think not only were the Broncos absolutely atrocious against them last week on offense, but the Houston Texans defense, let's give them some credit. They're pretty good. And I like that Lovie Smith club. Lovie Smith revenge game. Let's not lose sight of that either.
Oh, Erickson. I forgot about that.
I'm not concerned.
I love the Texans.
I said
earlier in the show that I like the Bears. I love the Texans now. Oh my god.
I'm not concerned.
I'm in love.
I'm cooking up some good juju. The only other thing I will say on last week's loss, Bears Packers, I blame it on the Brookfield Zoo for euthanizing Jim the Bear.
Can you change my Ohio State minus 18.5? Can you erase that and can you put the Texans minus 2.5?
You mean plus 2.5?
Thank you.
I believe it's actually 3 though. It's 3 plus 3 Texans. You
Is
really
it
want
3,
that?
Erickson?
Whatever you get it at.
Yeah, I
Might
don't
be
care.
3
They're
now.
going to win the game. Good point.
I mean, if you want to take them at 2 and sell some points, sell 5 points and take a minus 2.5.
That would be a moronic move and a move that you would make. Only you would make.
I've never done that.
No, yeah, you have. Did you do that this week?
No, I didn't. Oh,
How did you go? You know what? Also, Erickson, is Kane posting all his picks on Action?
I believe he
am.
is.
You are?
Bears pick didn't make it in. I'll update that.
Okay.
That was live.
All right.
That was live.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
I just want to make sure because
yeah, I don't know what to say on the Bears. We'll have to see more. I just, when you're the Packers aren't.
do you feel Kane like it's like the exact same Bears that it was last year?
No,
You think you see something different with this new GM and coach? Really?
I mean not much out of polls, but Eberflus I like a lot. I like that he threw the challenge flag twice last week. I don't think Matt Nagy. He's probably still got the challenge flag in his pocket from the Bears. He didn't have the nuts to ever do that, and I like Eberflus a lot. You see him running up and down the sideline talking to guys. I think that's something Nagy didn't do. The only person he talked to was Mitch and told him how bad he sucked and that he can't throw to the left.
Erickson, when you do you ever listen to Kane and it's like, God, it could be worse. I could be a Bears fan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the time.
Like
That's all I
you're
hear.
gonna tell me you like your new coach because he threw the challenge flag twice?
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Enough of that. If that's the only positivity coming out of the Sunday night football game, then I'm glad I'm not a Bears fan. Now, one thing that you did bring up though that I'll touch on real quick though is that why the hell are teams continuing to run out of shotgun, within the 3-yard line? Usually it's at the 1. They're trying to do this stuff and try to catch teams off guard, run out of the shotgun. Like, why are you putting yourself behind the 8 ball like that? I don't understand. That was a pivotal point in the ball game. The Bears had an opportunity to score and make that a game again. And why are we running from the shotgun? I mean, too many teams are doing it.
It doesn't make sense to me. Fields literally, it was less than an inch to get into the end zone. He almost got it from the shotgun. So all I'm saying is if he can get that push from 3-4 yards back, that would have been a touchdown right there. You've also got Montgomery pounding the rock. Hand it off. If anything else, hand it off.
Yeah, right. I agree with that. You should line up in the I formation and fucking run a dive and say our guys are tougher than your guys. Period. Especially in a rivalry game. But I'm kind of stealing part of my takes bit a little bit here, but Big Cat brought it up. I mean, that's Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy would do that. That's a play that Matt Nagy would run.
I agree.
So
All
like,
right, well, enough of that crap.
yeah, you're right.
Bears
Fuck the Bears.
stink.
Yeah, they stink.
They're
the worst team in football.
Last thing I wanted to talk about before we sign off on our sports for the evening is the Aaron Judge chasing the American League home run record. And I want to get your take on this, Johnny, because this is a interesting topic of conversation, because I don't know, like ESPN is really driving this one hard and like trying to drive the home run chase like he's going for the all-time record. And let's just be frank, he's not hitting as many home runs as Barry Bonds. We all know that, right? But like Barry Bonds is also, that record is essentially not realized as an actual record due to the fact that he's not being recognized in the Hall of Fame, right? So where's your stance on that? Do you think that there's going to be a clean home run record, assuming that Aaron Judge is doing this clean and everything like that? Or do you think that we're overhyping this too much, or do you think it's justified?
It's tough because I'm one that Barry Bonds is the best offensive player of all time, and it's not even close. We're obsessed with for some reason, the public and ESPN and the media is obsessed with the home run. This dude could win the Triple Crown.
Right. That's more impressive.
That's way more impressive. And I get that average is down now and this, that, and the other thing, but he leads the league in 10 offensive categories. I mean, it's insane what he's doing right now. And the home run thing, I mean, especially because he plays in Yankee Stadium, it's not that impressive to me. It's fun. I think it's fun. That, I mean, 60 when was the last time we saw 60 home runs?
Right. And
in our life, I mean, it is insane. And he is the absolute man right now. What's the most impressive thing about Aaron Judge's season is Shohei Ohtani has had a better season than he did last year. And what he is doing is, he might be the best baseball player I have ever seen in my life, but Aaron Judge has carried the Yankees and he's going to win a unanimous MVP after Shohei Ohtani won a unanimous MVP and had a better season this year. It's insane. I mean, it's insane. It's undeniable.
Yeah, I'll admit to that. I just think that maybe we should pump the brakes a little bit, because I think it's super impressive, and the offensive season that he's put up, there's no denying that.
Yeah.
But it's impressive if he's going to break the American League home run record. But let's not kid ourselves. It's not the all-time home run.
Agreed.
Not the all-time home run.
I would agree with that. Yep. Kane, what do you think of that?
Not much. I think it's cool. I don't know. It's something similar to you said, and similar to Cam said. If he's doing it clean, it's impressive. But I mean, there's nobody. What was the stat when he broke 60, or maybe it was when he hit 57? That it's the first time since Babe Ruth that a player has a 20 home run lead on whoever's in second. So he's over 20 home runs ahead of Kyle Schwarber, who I believe at the time when Judge hit 57, Schwarber was at 37. That's cool. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff going on.
Yeah.
But quite frankly, I don't care because it's the Yankees. That's about it.
I would agree with that. I'm more excited to see Pujols get to 700.
No. Dude, fuck that. They're throwing him cookies.
I don't care. They
what do
should.
You don't care.
I mean, I don't care.
You think if he gets to 700, that justifies his career? Like, that does nothing to me.
No, I'm not saying that it justifies his career, but
they're
700
throwing him cookies.
700 is an elusive mark to get to. And sure, they might be throwing him cookies right now, but that's a representative of the body of work that guy's put up throughout his entire career. And the fact that he's gotten there with the run that he's been on over the last quarter of this season is very impressive. And I'm just excited to see Busch Stadium erupt when he hits 700.
I love Albert Pujols. I do, and this is a hot take on my part. It's embarrassing that as fans, we have to sit there and when they're playing Cincinnati, a lefty on the mound, you might as well put. We almost had to have a cut there, but I almost name dropped somebody. But a left-handed pitcher that just throws it right over the cock, lays it out there for him, and he's hitting tanks. He doesn't need to hit 700. He's the best right-handed hitter I've ever seen in my life. I don't care if he hits 700 home runs. I get that there's the record book, but how much do records matter, Erickson? We're talking about Barry Bonds and his home run record, and that matters to us. But in the baseball world, it doesn't even count. So what are numbers in baseball? Do they mean anything anymore?
I just think 700 is an absolutely incredible mark to
but
achieve.
Don't you think he's already there? Like, he already is incredible.
No, I get it. I do.
Yeah.
I think the hype is really, like, it's good to see him go on a run. I don't care if they're throwing him fastballs down the dick. I think think the man is incredible. Yeah, one of the best right-handed hitters of all time, if not the best. And give the man his and the thing I appreciate too about this is that, like, he announced his retirement before the beginning of the season, but he's not going around parading his retirement tour and taking all these gifts, and crap. I'm not going to name names, but your guy, the captain, was parading his retirement tour like he was a god. All right. You don't see
isn't
out there
most playoff hits of all time.
Isn't Pujols kind of doing that? I mean, he took a spot in the home run derby before the break.
Yeah, good point, Kane. Thank you, Kane.
He had 5 or 7 home runs before the break, maybe less. That's not going around on his parade.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but Miguel Cabrera also did the same thing. Like, that guy doesn't belong in the home run derby.
I respect Miggy more than I do Pujols. I like Miggy more.
Whoa.
I just think, here's the deal. The infatuation with the long ball in baseball is starting to become a problem.
Yeah.
Right. It's starting to become a problem. And so the fact that we see guys who have been around for a long time, been doing it, this guy's been through multiple eras in the game. I mean, this guy used to be a 30 homer, 30 stolen base guy, and now he's approaching the 700 home run mark. It's impressive. And I just think he deserves that praise. And, he's the machine.
And I think that my take is, I just like it because it's valid, but I also think that what we're talking about with Aaron Judge and Pujols is parallel, and it's just what you said. It's the home run. Like, we take such a value in that, but we can't just take into consideration this Albert Pujols' career. If you just look at his career, like, if you just go on Baseball Reference and look at his career, it's insane. Insane. And what Aaron Judge is doing right now, he's leading in 10 offensive categories.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's nuts.
All right. And the Twins have a fork in them. They're casketed. They're buried.
Cubs eliminated. Cubs eliminated from the playoffs.
Don't care.
Twins absolutely stunk it up in Cleveland. Their last stand in Cleveland. I think they've dropped 2 in a row now to the Royals. So
I just want you to know, I had a future on the Twins to win the Central.
Yep. Well, you can discard that one, put it in the wastebasket and regroup. And all this talk about their injuries and stuff like that and how it's hampered them. I don't want to hear it. They failed. The front office failed us. The coaching staff failed us, and the quote unquote leaders in that locker room failed us. And I don't want to talk Twins right now. So let's wrap it up on that. We've been at it for a long time. Thanks everybody for listening to Voyage. Hope you join us on the next journey. Excited to have you as a part of this, and we hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to continue to keep pushing this stuff out there, and you guys engage with us on Twitter at Cam's Cappin, at I Kill Books, and at Don't Bet Bad Clubs. Follow us on the podcast page at Voyage Pod. We're putting out some clips, some highlights of the show on there as well. And then follow us at Retail Gamblers as well. we're going to try to continue to give you guys some good content throughout the week. And hey, man, putting this thing out weekly. Let us know if you have any feedback, any comments, questions. We're open to it all. We're just trying to get this thing off the ground. So appreciate you tuning in, for those of you that have stuck with it for the full length. And we'll see you next week.
Shout out to Crook, Skull Vikes.